Welcome, my fellow sapiens. I'm Omer, and you're watching You, Me, and Everyone Else, where we unravel the thread of time to discover how we became the remarkable species we are today. Did you know that modern humans carry a piece of Neanderthals' DNA? This fascinating connection makes understanding Neanderthal crucial to our story. In the last episode, we explored the first Europeans and how they adapted to ice covered lands of Europe. Now, let's dive into the most fascinating and most misunderstood species in human history, the Neanderthals. Who were they, and how did they survive during Ice Age? What sets them apart from us, and what ultimately led to their extinction? Let's get started by busting a few myths and uncovering the truth about these remarkable early humans. We will cover in this video the real Neanderthal, strong, robust, and much more advanced than most people think. How they survived Europe's icy climate and how they thrived. The toolkit they used for hunting and surviving, and finally, how they buried their dead and what it tells us about their social and intellectual development. So grab a warm drink or a spade if you feel like adventurous, and let's step into the Ice Age world of Neanderthals. The myth. Neanderthals are often shown as ultimate cavemen, dragging their partners by the hair and carrying clubs. You'll probably see this cartoon image before, but this description comes from a misunderstanding over 100 years ago. Neanderthals were far from clumsy brutes. They were intelligent, adaptable, and physically built to survive harsh environments. So, who were they really? The first Neanderthal fossil was discovered in 1857 in the Neander Valley of Germany, where with its heavy bow ridge and receding forehead, it seemed completely alien compared to modern humans. Since then, we have discovered many more Neanderthals across Europe and Asia. These fossils show us that Neanderthals first appeared over 100,000 years ago and thrived during the Ice Age. In the early 20th century, French scientists thought Neanderthals were slow and clumsy, based on a skeleton of an elderly Arctic arthritic Neanderthal man. They were wrong. Neanderthals were actually powerful, agile hunters who could walk upright just like us. Neanderthals stood about 5 feet tall with short, stocky body, a perfect adaptation to the cold. Think of them like Olympic athletes of Ice Age. They may have looked bulky, but their build made them strong and efficient hunters, helping them survive the harsh climate. Neanderthals had slightly larger brains than modern humans, about 1500 cubic centimeters. While bigger brains don't necessarily mean they were smarter, they were likely intelligent in their own way. Evidence showed that Neanderthals could communicate, possibly even use simple speech, thanks to the preservation of hide bone, which is crucial for vocalization. However, their language was less complex than ours, focusing mostly on survival needs rather than abstract ideas like we do. So, how did they survive the Ice Age? Neanderthal lived in one of the coldest periods in Earth history, the Ice Age. To survive, they had to adapt quickly and efficiently. According to a British archaeologist, Neanderthal sought shelter in caves and rock formations, using them as protections from the elements of the nature. They roamed across Europe, hunting large animals like bison, red deer, and reindeer. Using close range weapons like spears, they became expert hunters. But this was all not without any risks. Many Neanderthal skeletons show signs of injury from dangerous. They also relied on stored food, such as dried meat, to get through the harsh winter months when hunting was very scarce. Just a fun fact, in the winter months, Neanderthal likely relied heavily on their hunting strategy and stored meat. Picture them sitting around a fire, eating dried meat after a successful hunt. Neanderthals were no slouch when it came to technology. They created a sophisticated set of tools known as Montaine's technology, far more advanced than anything their ancestors used. Neanderthal made tools by shaping stones sorry, carefully shaping stone cores into flakes that could be used as scrapers, spear points, and other tools. They also invented compass tools, which combine stone spear points with wooden shafts to make more effective hunting weapons. This level of craftsmanship shows that Neanderthals were skilled and innovative toolmakers. There is some debate among archaeologists about whether different Neanderthal groups had different toolkits or if they simply adapted their tools to various tasks that they were performing at that time. What's clear is that Neanderthals were much more advanced in tool making than any earlier humans. A question arises, did the Neanderthals believed in an afterlife? Well, we can examine their burial practices. So Neanderthal lived in small groups and their population grew. So did their complex social complexities. So around 75,000 years ago, Neanderthals began to bury their dead, a practice not seen in earlier humans. In some cases, Neanderthal buried their dead in caves, like the famous discovery of two adults and four children in the French rock shelters. But whether these rituals were ritualistic or simply practical is still debated amongst researchers. Some experts suggest that these burial hint at a growing sense of community and possibly earlier spiritual beliefs, while others believe it was simply a way to protect the living from disease and disposing of the dead. On personal reflection, when I think about Neanderthals burying their dead, it does strike me as a profound expression of community and perhaps even an early understanding of mortality, a concept that is still uh, relevant to us in today's world. How did they disappear and why did they disappear? Neanderthals survived for tens of thousands of years, but 40,000 years ago, they began to disappear. What happened? A combination of factors likely led to their extinction. Competition with modern humans, Homo sapiens, may have been a major reason. As humans spread across Europe, they would have competed for similar resources. Climate change during the Ice Age may have made their life a little harder. So they're reducing their food supply and habitat areas. Neanderthals also had a limited gene pool, which may have made it difficult for them to adapt to new challenges. A fun fact, Although Neanderthals disappeared, they didn't completely vanish. Genetic studies showed that people of Europe and Asian descent still carry small amount of Neanderthal DNA, meaning a small part of them lives in us today. What was the main tool technology that they used? I will leave you with that questions, few other. So I was just thinking to myself, how did Neanderthal technology well compared to the earlier stones? And if you do an analysis, you do find very interesting that how they evolved their tool making skills. And what do you think was the biggest difference between Neanderthals and modern humans? I'll leave it to you that. So today we dived into the world of Neanderthals. Thank you very much for watching. If you like it, share. Like the button. If you like it too much, share. And until in our next episode, we'll be exploring the rise of Homo sapiens, the species that shaped the future of humankind. As it is the story of Homo sapiens, we'll start on the next chapter with them. Until then, I hope you have an amazing week, month, a day ahead. And remember, we are all made up of stardust. Every single particle is found in the stars. Adios.